Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mons here. So just wanted to check in, and what we're going to do is, like I promised, if you saw part one of my video in regards to the NFL playoff prediction, this is going to be part two, just like I said I was going to do. So before I get into the predictions, obviously I have to do some updates because things have changed a little bit, and now we have updates on how some things panned out. So I just got my phone right here, just looking at the schedule. Just want to recap the games I played so I know how to give my overview in terms of what I thought on there. Now let's start with the Bills-Texans game. That was a very interesting game. The commentators at the end of that, they were talking about it being an instant classic. I think that's a bit much, a little bit of a stretch. It was a very good, interesting game. Right out of the gate, the Bills came out. They had, I think it was 2 trick plays in that first opening drive. I think Josh Allen, he had something like a 40-yard rush. That was a big play that helped it, and then he had a receiving touchdown on like a flea flicker, which was like a 15-yarder. And then I don't know I forget if they went for 2 or something like that. I don't know, but that opening drive basically was shocking everybody. I know I was surprised. The commentators were surprised. The fans were surprised. The Texans themselves were surprised. It was an interesting way to start a game in the first round on the road. Ultimately, now I'm saying some of my wife's vocabulary there. The Texans wind up coming out with the win with the field goal in overtime. So the curse for the Bills continues. Still have not won a playoff game since 1995, but I think that team is definitely getting in the right direction. They had a good year, good playoff run. So now it's just a matter of, hey, maybe 1 or 2 more pieces. Something will change to get them going, but again, they're good on the right track. I always like to see different teams in the mix. However, I did choose the Texans over the Bills, so that one did come out correct. Going to the Eagles and the Seahawks game. Now, for me, this was a no-brainer. This was the easiest pick of the week. I said that the Seahawks were going to beat the Eagles. They did. Now, to my surprise, I didn't think it was going to be as close as it was, 17-9. I think it should have been. I think the Seahawks definitely should have been able to put up more points, being the team that they are and the talent that they have compared to the type of season that the Eagles had with the talent they had. Plus, the other variable was right off the bat, I believe it was at the end of the first quarter, Wentz went out with I think it was later determined it was a concussion, that he took a knee to the head from Jadeveon Clowney, and then Josh McCown came in. But again, I think the Seahawks should definitely put up more than 17 points against the Eagles, considering the type of team they were. The Eagles, they only scored 3 field goals all game. That's kind of rough, but ultimately that came down to be what it be. Great, that's the second time I've said ultimately. Here we go. Hopefully that's not the trend for this video. So those 2 picks I was correct on. Now the Vikings and the Saints, I'm surprised. Again, it came to overtime. I want to say one thing on here. A lot of people, I always look at the result. In a lot of things I do, I look at what's the result and immediately look back leading up to the result. What could have possibly been done differently to change the outcome? And the first thing I thought about, and I said it right when it happened, at halftime, they caught a break when the Saints received kickoff. I think there was like a decent punt return, which brought it back to around midfield. Then they threw, I think, like a 25, 30-yard pass, got him into field goal range for a quick last 3 points for Lutz to put on the board before halftime to get them. I don't know if it would have been tied or a 3-point lead at that point. Unfortunately, Lutz wound up missing that field goal, not knowing that 3 points would come back to haunt them in the end. You figure the score was 20-20, which caused them to go into overtime. If Lutz had scored that field goal, if he had made that, there you go. You would have been up 23-20, and it would have changed things probably how it would have gone out in the end, and probably prevented the overtime, and also would have got the Saints to win. Now, this is basically the 3rd year in a row where the Saints have kind of got I don't know if you want to say a curse, a tough break. A lot of people are saying the big thing was that pass interference when Kyle Rudolph caught that touchdown. You can easily debate that. I see people saying no, it wasn't. Rudolph is a bigger guy compared to the cornerback that was defending him. So, because when you're talking about the size and the strength, it looks like it could have been. Just taking a quick look at it, maybe one or two views, I immediately thought absolutely that was pass interference. The other part was it could have gone either way. I'm surprised that the officials didn't even consider reviewing it. That was a big kind of question mark at that point. I would have no problem if they reviewed it and upheld it, but the fact that it's a game-winning drive in overtime in the playoffs and you're not even going to review it, that I thought was a red flag and a little bit concerning for me. But again, not my team at the end. It is what it is. What's done is done. So the Vikings won there. So on the basis of the Vikings winning, that changes my initial prediction going through the playoffs. Okay? And now this other game, the Titans and Patriots. Now, I said right off the bat when I did this, I saved it for last when I was going in my initial review, and I'm saying it right now. This was the hardest one for me to pick. I said that the Titans were going to give the Patriots a run. It was going to be challenging. It was going to be difficult. It was going to be interesting. I made notes of a lot of things I was kind of weighing it, but again, because the Patriots are the Patriots, give them the benefit, give them the break, I got a feeling they'll take it. Nope. The Titans stole the show, and once again, I like it because, again, it's different team there. Knocking out the Patriots, we know right off the bat now it's a wide open field because we don't have to figure, okay, well, the Patriots are going to at least go to the Super Bowl. We don't have to worry about that. So, again, it really opens up the field for the AFC. You know what I mean? It definitely means right off the bat, your Chiefs or the Ravens are going to be there. That was what I was thinking initially, but it's a matter of, all right, well, if the Patriots made it to the AFC Championship, that puts them at a 50% chance to be there. Now we don't have to worry about that at all. So that's that part. But, the Titans did win. All right. So now going ahead, looking at the divisional round now. Now I got to go with my predictions going forward. So this is where the part 2 is really kicking in after the review. We have the Vikings at the 49ers. We have the Titans at the Ravens. We've got the Texans at the Chiefs and the Seahawks at the Packers. Now, these games are, I'll say, 2 of them are extremely interesting. 2 of them will be entertaining. All right. So I'll start with the Titans and Ravens. That's a no-brainer. That is probably going to be the easiest pick. I will say the Ravens are going to take that game. The Titans are good, absolutely. But again, you're going to have the 6th seed on the road against the 1 seed. The Ravens being what they've been, you figure they've won 12 straight. It's only the 5th time that's happened in... the 5th time that's happened, I think they said in the modern Super Bowl era, running 12 straight going into the playoffs. So I'm definitely going to go with the Ravens on that one. Sticking with the AFC, the Texans at the Chiefs, it's not going to change anything. It's a different team, but the pick is going to remain the same. The Chiefs are going to win that, which is going to end up Chiefs versus Ravens. Now, Vikings versus 49ers, I was hesitant on this one. Now, again, you've got the 6th seed versus the 1 seed. I'm hesitant, but I want to say the 49ers. I still want to stick with the fact that they're going to get to the NFC Championship. I'm not confident in saying that. I'm hesitant, but there's something about it that wants to say the 49ers are going to take that game. And then the other game we've got is the Seahawks at the Packers. This can really kind of go either way because you figure it's at Lambeau. Okay, so you figure right off the bat, home field, you should have check to the Packers. It is going to be cold. It is going to be snowing. It's been all over the news. They're looking for volunteers to come shovel it out for the game. So on that, you would think, all right, check to the Packers. And it may or may not make a difference because the Seahawks, they're a northern team also. They're outside, but they're more inclined usually with getting either straight cold weather or rain. I don't recall. I don't follow the weather, but in terms of how they are with snow up there, obviously with the Packers, they're notorious for having snow. So I kind of want to say I got to go with the Packers because they're the home team. I really have to do that. Here's my lemonade making an appearance. So, figuring the 49ers will beat the Vikings. Again, these are my predictions, and then we'll obviously go going forward. The 49ers, I will say, over the Vikings. The Packers will beat the Seahawks. The Chiefs will beat the Texans. And then the Ravens will beat the Titans. Now, so I had the 49ers going to the NFC Championship. I had the Ravens and I had the Chiefs going to the AFC Championship. And originally I had the Saints. Obviously, they're out. So now on the basis of that, the Packers will be there. So you'll be the Packers and 49ers moving on to the NFC Championship. I have this weird feeling. For some reason, I should stick with the 49ers. Because if this does play out to fruition properly, San Fran will be the home team. Yeah. And again, they beat them up in the regular season. I think it was something, I think it was like 38-9. I think it was like 29 points in the regular season they beat them by. And it was a primetime game. I forget if it was like a Sunday night or a Monday night. It was brutal. It was bad. So everyone that's right here, they've played in the regular season. I'm not sure if they played the Vikings, possibly, but they played the Seahawks, they played the Packers. So I will say it's going to be the 49ers and the Packers in the NFC Championship. All right, the Ravens and there's Marvel making his appearance. We'll have the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. And that is going to go forward. And based on this, I've already got my figuring. It is going to be the 49ers and the Ravens in the Super Bowl. That's my prediction. Now, again, you figured in a way that's kind of going to be a little bit of a rematch because you figure I want to think it was 2013 or 14 when the Ravens and the 49ers played in the Super Bowl. It was the Harbaugh Bowl. But two completely different teams at this point right now in terms of offense is what they're about. Even in this case, I'm going to make my prediction. If it is the 49ers and the Ravens, I would say the Ravens would win. If it was, now let's just say I'm off with this and things change, okay? I'm going to run it out with the Ravens regardless. If the Ravens were playing the Seahawks, I would say the Ravens. If the Ravens were playing the Vikings, I would say the Ravens. And if the Ravens were playing the Packers, I would go with the Ravens over that too. So I think it's definitely going to be the Ravens regardless of who they play. They're going to the Super Bowl and they're going to win. For me at this point, it's just a big question on who from the NFC side is going to get there. I think the 49ers are going to be the representatives. So at this point, this is part 2 of the video. Like I said, I was going to follow it up. The divisional playoffs start here. And we'll go forward and see what happens. So tell me what you think. If you think I'm wrong, if you want me to do a part 3 and reevaluate after this divisional round, I'll do that if you want it. So let's go and see what happens. Yeah.